Hello fellow audiophiles, I am Wave Theory, and today I have for you a quick first impressions video of the JPS Labs Abyss Diana TC open back planar magnetic portable headphone. Alright, as usual, please do the normal things like and subscribe and all of those things you do to support YouTube channels, and with that we will dive right back into this headphone. So, this is the latest offering from Abyss. It is the Diana TC, which lists for $4,495 US in the basic package on Abyss's website, which I will link to down below. This is also the third Abyss headphone that I've had the opportunity to review. I reviewed the AB1266 Phi TC back in the fall, so I will link to that video down below. And then I also did a written review of the Diana Phi back in, I think it was almost a year ago now, back in the spring of 2021. And so I will put a link to that written review down below as well. I have not had a ton of time with this yet. I've gotten somewhere between 10 and 12 listening hours on it so far, I think. So let's do some first impressions. So what is it? It is the driver from the Abyss AB1266 Phi TC put into the Diana housing. All right, so that's its nature. That's the beast we're looking at here. And at $4,500, it of course invites comparisons to things like Hi-Fi Mensasvara, Focal Utopia, Audeze LCD5, and so forth, and I will get to those comparisons when I come back to the full review of this. But just this on its own. So, it's an Abyss. It has the Abyss house sound. What does that mean? That means really killer bass, first and foremost. Like, that pops out. Like, so all of the Abyss headphones, and this one included, they have really deeply extended, very detailed, very punchy, and very present low frequency reproduction. So like these, they are bass cannons, and this one seems to be right there with them, almost. I'm not convinced yet that this quite has the amount of raw bass presence as the Diana Phi or the 1266 Phi TC, but it's also not far behind if it is that much behind. Like, I am going from memory here, and I don't have those other Abysses here with me, but it was not as powerful in the bass as I expected it to be. But it also is in no way bass shy, and it seems to have a lot more bass presence than most of the other $4,500 headphones that I just mentioned a moment ago. From memory, anyway. I will come back to that and unpack that a little bit more in the full review. It also struck me that this iteration is a little bit smoother than the other Abysses that I have heard. The other Abysses were very aggressively detail forward. Like, they had a lot of detail retrieval, and they were proud of it. And they pushed it at me and at the listener. This one is a little bit more relaxed and refined, I think, in that regard. Which is not me saying it is less resolving. There's still a lot of resolution here. A lot. It just is not as forced and aggressive and as forward with that detail retrieval as my memory of the other two is. So that's another thing that I will keep an eye on moving into the full review. Then from a frequency response standpoint, this one also, early indications are it suffers from some of the same drawbacks, some of the same relative weaknesses as the other Abyss models that I've heard. And that is, yeah, the bass presence is there, and the bass detail and the bass texturing and all of that. So it's got an elevated lower end, but the mids are too far forward. I am getting a lot of shoutiness and honkiness going on through the, particularly the upper mids on this unit as well. And that, I mean, because it's an Abyss, it has that nice, magnetic pad system where you can rotate the orientation of the pads on there. And there are 4 possible pad positions with this particular model, and with each one, the mids to me seem to go from shouty to shouty-er. And so that's going to take some unpacking to figure out what's going on there as well. And so That is another reason why I say it is an Abyss. So far, my early impressions is that it takes most of what is good about Abyss in terms of the bass presence and the bass detail, the bass texture, the physicality of the bass, all of that kind of stuff. Like, that is here. The overall excellent detail retrieval is still here. I think so far it has made an improvement in terms of just being a little bit smoother and a little bit more listenable in terms of its detail retrieval, but I think there's still some wonky frequency response going on here too, particularly through the mids, which has been an Abyss trait to my ear. So, hopefully that whets your appetite for the full review. I will listen more to this and try to unpack all of that a bit more and come back in another week or two with the full review of this thing. So until then, just be on the lookout for my other videos. Still working on the third part for my cable science series, which, I mean, Abyss Labs makes some pretty good cables too. And I'll talk more about that when we get to the video as well. But so be on the lookout for those. I still am working on reviews for the Sennheiser HD800 and HD800S. Those are coming soon. I have the Hi-Fi-Man Edition XS still, which I need to come back to, and I have the Hi-Fi-Man HE400 SE. I have a couple other more entry-level headphones that are either here or are coming in that I can compare that HE400 SE to. And so there's a lot going on here. So be on the lookout for the full Diana TC review coming soon and all of that other stuff. And as always, I am Wave Theory. Thanks for watching and enjoy the music.